Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Knife Chats with Tobias. Well, let's talk Kershaw for a little bit. And well, the knife you see in front of you is the Kershaw Culpepper. I have already talked about this knife in the past when I was going through my Barlow phase, and I still love Barlows. And this is a really nice one from Kershaw. This one is made in China. It is known as the Culpepper. This one is in brown jig bone with a copper bolster, and then you have a nickel silver shield on there. Notice the nice stainless steel back spring, brass liners, brass pins, and a wonderful stainless steel blade. I can't remember. This one is in D2 semi-stainless steel with a blade that is right at 3 1/4 inches long. Wonderful shape to that blade too. I like it. I really like the way that blade is shaped. And wonderful 4-inch bolster or 4-inch handle on this Barlow. So not quite the Big Daddy and not quite the standard Barlow that's 3 3/8 inches long. At 4 inches, I think of it as the Big Brother Barlow, and I really like this so much that I'm really tempted to pick up a couple of other Culpepper Barlows because, well, this is just a really nice size. So often they talk about 4 inches being like the perfect length for a pocket knife with a 3-inch blade. And any case, got another Kershaw here, which is also 4 inches long with a 3-inch blade, but it's not like the Culpepper. But I felt I had to talk about the Culpepper first because that's the kind of knife you normally see on this channel. This knife is not what you normally see on this channel, and the knife I'm talking about is right there, the Kershaw Leek, the 1660 by Kershaw, known as the Leek. And while it is considered a modern folder these days, I think a lot of people in the modern folder community will look at it and go, man, that is such an antiquated design, because the Kershaw Leek, a wonderful Ken Onion design, I think is the very first knife that Ken Onion made for Kershaw. He was making knives before Kershaw, and then he's also made knives after Kershaw, but I think the Kershaw Leek was the very first design that he did for Kershaw, and I believe it's the first of the knives named after some type of onion. So without further ado, it's the Kershaw Leek, and this is one that I plan on keeping finally, and I bought it because of the 250th anniversary of America, and this one is the 1660 Ross. And well, as you can see, it's got the Betsy Ross flag on there. You can see the stars going in a circle. Obviously the Betsy Ross flag does not have 1776 in the middle, but this one does. And this is an actual red, white, and blue. This is a very dark blue on there. It looks like black in here, but it is blue. And if you ever look at the American flag, it is also a very dark blue. And otherwise, this is your basic standard Leek that you would find off of the production line today. And while the Leek has been around for about 22 years, it has not changed significantly over those years. It is a couple little changes here and there, but nothing dramatic. To pause a second to look at my notes. Now then, the big story on it is obviously the blade steel. People will want to know what the blade steel is in here. And the steel used in here is a 14C28N Sandvik steel. And they have been using that for quite some time. I do not know if that is the original blade steel used by Kershaw in the Leek, but that is the blade steel that has been used for quite some time now. You can see the bead blast finish on the steel. And you can also see that nice edge going on there with it. And that edge is pretty much the same on both sides of the blade. We can also see here that it says 1660 Ross, and then the American flag, Kai USA Ken Onion design. That's what's on the back side there. So as we know, it is made in the USA, and then we see Kershaw on the other side over here. That's all the markings you're going to see on there, other than also, if you can see right here, you have Kershaw kind of etched into the black pocket clip there. And the pocket clip can be up or tip down carry, right side only. But for me, this is a nice safe way to carry it in the left side of the, in your left pocket, with this against the back of your pocket. However, this knife is designed with the speed safe technology that I believe Ken Onion also patented. It's available in other knives these days too, obviously, because the patent is quite old. 2002 is when these knives first showed up. But what it is just basically a little tip lock, and it's just a little slide here. You push it up, and if you see closely, let's zoom in here. Zoom in, I said. You can see there that the tip is blocked. So if you flip it, it doesn't flip because the tip is blocked. You can press as hard as you want to. You're pressing against the bar, so it's not going to move. Same with the thumb studs. Yeah, it works with both a flipper and thumb studs. Let's get the speed lock off, or the tip lock off rather. Now the tip off or tip lock, the one thing I would complain about with it is that it is not on both sides. I wish it was something that would slide up on both sides, but it is really just designed on one side. Let me zoom back out. Yeah, the tip lock is only on one side. You cannot reach it from both sides of the knife. And it is located on the back side of the knife, the same side that has the pocket clip, which I guess is an all right thing. But you take off that clip, and then you have an assisted opening knife, nice spring assisted going on, and it flips out pretty well. You have a liner lock there that is easy to manipulate with left or right hand. The thumb studs, I have a little bit of problems with the thumb studs sometimes. I got to get it used to it. I'm not a person who uses thumb studs a lot, and you just got to press it just right, and then it will flip. But I have a real problem left-handed. Right-handed, it flips a little better, but my hand is always in the way. So I work better with the flipper. If you notice, when the thumb studs flip open, it goes right into that little bit of a recess there. So that is a little notch on the top there. That also helps the blade from going too far. So even if you take it off, you still want those, even if you're not using the thumb studs, you still want them on the knife because it does help with the lockup. And you see there a little bit of jimping there. And as you can also tell, it is a modified Wharncliffe blade we're working with there. See there? Definitely nice drop all the way down. Got a little bump, and then just like a little, like the bunny slope, I guess. And then you obviously have the blade going up a little bit. So I think a lot of people would also just consider that a drop point, but because of how long it is, a lot of people think of it as a Wharncliffe, and actually Kershaw refers to it as a modified Wharncliffe. And it's a very slicey blade. However, there are a few problems with it that people have mentioned, and one of them is just how thin that blade tip gets, and that, you know, if you're going to misuse this blade, you are going to break it. This tip can break. Yeah, if you're going to go and, you know, do some of this jamming in the wood and bending it back and forth, you're going to lose that tip right away. It's not designed for doing that. So if you want to break your knife, you can do it pretty easily. It is very slicey though. The other thing is if you're whacking it into something hard, the blade is most likely going to roll because of just how thin the blade steel is. So use it as it is intended, and it's going to hold up well. Try and use this as your monster survival knife, and you're going to break your knife. This is truly an excellent little EDC knife that's going to work for, you know, 99% of your chores, but It is not the knife that is designed for, oh, I don't know, cutting concrete blocks or making a hole in the ice for ice fishing. This knife is not going to do that. If that's what you're planning on, get a proper knife for that. But otherwise, really slick knife. I will probably remove the pocket clip on this one. I don't need the pocket clip, especially considering it's got the little speed safe lock here. Let me push down so I can drop that in my pocket like that and not have to worry about it being held in place by a pocket clip or anything like that. I know that it's not going to open accidentally in my pocket, which is a really nice thing about the tip lock there. So it makes it safe even though it is assisted opening. Is this going to replace my Spyderco Dragonfly? No, it's not, but it will be the knife that I carry on special occasions in the 250th anniversary of the United States. And as it is 4 inches long, it's safe to carry in most places, and the blade length on this is an exact 3 inches, I believe. Yeah, that comes in right at 3 inches. With a cutting edge that is maybe 2 7/8, something like that. So definitely under 3 inches. So that's going to make it safe to carry in most places, or legal to carry in most places where you can carry an assisted opening knife. Obviously, if you can't carry an assisted opening knife, it doesn't matter how long the blade is, but this one should be able to be carried in most places, which is also a really cool thing. So once again, I will recommend to many people, get yourself a Kershaw Leek, especially if you're looking for an American-made assisted opening knife that has a 3-inch blade. Kershaw Leek is a terrific choice for that, at least in my opinion. And they're under $100. Still, under $100 is kind of expensive. So you can obviously get less expensive knives, but most of those other assisted opening knives that you get for less money than this do not have a lock on the blade, and I think that safety feature makes the difference between the Kershaw Leek and several other knives that are available out there. In any case, with that said, let's stick around for a slideshow featuring both of these knives. Should be fun. let me take just a second to thank you once again for dropping by and spending a few minutes here at Knife Chats with the Pious. I really do appreciate it, and I do appreciate any comments that you leave. So please remember to give me that thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you'll know when the next episode is up and running. Thanks again for dropping by. Really do appreciate your time here.